So tonight and last night both kind of went the same way. I was really tired. I was drowsy. I curled up in bed next to my husband and I was drifting off. And then all of a sudden, I'd start getting zaps in my leg. And last night I was just falling asleep and like I really falling asleep. And then all of a sudden I felt this huge zap in my left leg, and that woke me up. And so then I went to the living room. I was still drowsy. I tried curling up on the couch, and sleep just wasn't happening. So then I woke myself up and stayed awake for a couple hours, and then I was able to go to bed. And then tonight I did the same thing, curled up next to my husband, started getting leg zaps. It was starting to get really unpleasant, and so I got out of bed, came to the living room, and I lay down on the couch and I looked at it. It was like, I'm really drowsy. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to go on my phone and look at YouTube videos and just kind of scroll around and see what's interesting. And I did that for I don't know how long, and my legs kept on getting kind of twitchy. And so finally I realized that I was uncomfortable. So I didn't expect that I would need to do this so soon, but I ended up getting up and kind of standing and sort of rocking back and forth on my feet for a while just to kind of get blood circulating into my feet, and that kind of helps to calm it down. I didn't think I was going to need to do that this soon, but I did, so that's something. Right now I'm pretty tired. I'm still not fully awake yet from all that, so like I feel very drowsy. I had ideas for a video. I was like, okay, well, if tonight is the same as last night, I'll just film a video, and I had some ideas, but I'm still not awake enough yet to talk about anything like intelligently. I'm still pretty drowsy and pretty sleepy, and I don't feel good. I wish my foot wasn't messed up because I'd feel more confident just walking a lot. But I guess I have a stress fracture in my foot, so I can't just, like, if I could, I would get the treadmill out here and I would just walk on the treadmill for, half an hour or so, and then I'd try to take a nap again or something, but I can't do that. Like, I really shouldn't be doing that, so I'm trying to think of things that I can do that are going to get blood flowing through my legs enough to kind of help stop the RLS from being too bad. I also need to find like a TV show or something to watch because I have the feeling I want something, like I was thinking about it, and I want something really just lighthearted and gentle. Like, I don't feel good right now, so something just really, really, kind of mindless and fluffy, and, something really feel good. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm after. I tried making a video last night and I just didn't like it. It was too long. I talked too much. I've only talked for about 4 minutes on this one, so I've got a little bit of time. I talked about abortion because I was looking at the symptoms I'm dealing with, and like, I wanted a baby. My husband and I were trying to have a baby. I volunteered for this. I'm very much aware that I volunteered for this. I volunteered to be sitting in my living room in my pajamas looking like absolute hell with, my feet twitching constantly. I volunteered for this. I didn't necessarily know when I got pregnant and grabbed that random pregnancy grab bag that RLS was going to be in it, but that's the game. You play it and you get through it. I'm not going to be feeling good for 8 months, and so I'm okay with that. Like, I've accepted it, but I look at it and I think, I'm not going to make a case for aborting healthy fetuses. I'm just not. That's not where I'm standing. That's not what I believe in. I had an abortion because my pregnancy was non-viable and the baby was going to die, and I wanted them to die in the least horrific way possible, believe it or no. But I mean, aborting a healthy baby, I didn't understand. Like, I really struggle with that. However, I've seen a lot of pro-lifers who really do not understand, and I've listened to enough women giving their accounts of how they got abortions and why they got abortions and how old they were and all that stuff. And it's like, I think there are a lot of pro-life people in this world who do not understand how a woman could have an abortion, like how they could possibly do something like that. Dude, let me explain it for you, okay? I think there are a lot of pro-life people who just don't understand why a woman would be unwilling to go through an entire pregnancy. And I think there's this perception, at least this is kind of the feeling that I got, that, yeah, you're going to have morning sickness, and yeah, you're going to have weight gain, and yeah, you're going to have stretch marks, and yeah, you might have some possible body weight issues afterward. But you know what? It's a human being. And you hypothetically did whatever caused that human being to come into existence. I think that that's what people think women who are pregnant go through. It's like, okay, so you gotta deal with some stretch marks, so you're not gonna be, as youthful as you were before. It's almost like it's counted as a vanity thing. Like, I mean, my stomach is all levels of blown out, and it's extremely distressing to me. I don't think people understand how distressing that can be. I got through my first 6 pregnancies without any loose skin, because I never gained too much weight during pregnancy. And then my 7th pregnancy, the last one before this, I went through a major depression in the middle of my pregnancy, partially because my husband had a brain tumor and it was kind of disruptive to our lives. And I gained so much weight, and I just couldn't stand up for very long. Like, I had no energy. I could barely stand up. I just lay on the couch all the time. Like, I was useless and I couldn't do anything. And after that pregnancy, I have an apron of loose skin, and it doesn't matter how much weight I lose, because I lost a ton of weight. I got pretty damn thin, and I had just loose skin hanging off my stomach, and it wasn't pretty, and it didn't look good at all. I remember being extremely distressed by that. Right now I'm pregnant again, and it's hard to make myself care about anything that's happening with my body, because I get pregnant and I kind of just dissociate as far as possible from my body. It's like I'm up here and shit's happening down here. Like, all this is just stuff that's happening to me. I try not to think about it. And I'm not sure that's the healthiest way to handle it, but it's just how I'm getting through it right now. I think people think it's all just a vanity thing, that women just don't want to deal with, a little bit of loose skin or some stretch marks or some morning sickness. And it's like, that's not what pregnancy is. Some women have pregnancies like that. And I think a lot of pro-life women who've been through pregnancies, maybe even difficult pregnancies, don't always understand that not everybody wants to go through that. Like, not everybody's willing to put themselves through some of these things. There are some really nasty health problems that come about as a result of pregnancy. And when I say nasty, I mean there are the really bad ones that are like harmful to the mother. And then there are things like what I'm going through, which are just unpleasant. They're still really nasty. It's really unpleasant. I'm very, very fortunate that I have a supportive family that understands that I've got RLS. I'm going to become increasingly sleep deprived over the next 8 months. It's going to take a toll on me. It's going to do things to me. That's why I'm filming these videos. Things are going to happen to me, and it's not going to be fun. People don't seem to understand that. And I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to make a case for abortion. I'm just saying that when pro-life people and pro-choice people talk, they don't really talk. They just spout their opinions at one another loudly and hope that somehow they're going to make an impression. And they have, like, they frequently, I would say 99.9% of the time, they come into the debate with absolutely no openness to what the other side is saying. They have their opinions, they're very firmly rooted in their opinions, and they aren't ready to listen. So nothing ever changes, like everything always stays the same. And so I don't think pro-life people understand that a woman who didn't volunteer for this, who didn't want this to happen to her, is going to take one look at some of these pregnancy symptoms, like what I'm going through right now. Like, it's not just the RLS. I'm medicated right now because this pregnancy kind of threw me for a loop, and suddenly I was having suicidal ideation. I kept thinking that the world would be a better place without me, and I kept thinking that it would be really cool if I just drove my car right off a cliff. And I called up my doctor and was like, look, I'm really not okay right now. And they put me on medication. Now, it's pregnancy-friendly medication. It's a really, really low dose. I've done this song and dance before. It's not gonna, at least it hasn't hurt any of the other children that I've had. Pregnancy messes with me. And I'm not unique in that. It can really mess a person up. And so, if you are pro-life, and you're watching this video, and you're probably not, because I don't see many people in this argument being open-minded to new ideas that don't directly support their side. But if you are being even the least bit open-minded, there's a lot of messed up stuff that happens to a person during a pregnancy. There's a lot of messed up stuff that happens to your body. There's a lot of messed up stuff that happens to your mind. Postpartum psychosis is a thing. And our society doesn't, honestly, I don't think our society really understands what postpartum psychosis is. And I don't think our society is particularly sympathetic to people who develop postpartum psychosis. Like, there's a lot of messed up things that can happen to a person in a pregnancy. There's a reason that these women are saying, no, not me. I'm not doing this. And I think a lot of them, I think the majority of them are early enough in their pregnancies. They're usually, 20s, and they're looking at it, and it's like early 20s, late teens, looking at it and saying, you know what, I just don't want to deal with this. The moment that the nausea starts to hit and they start to realize, like, oh crap, I got a positive pregnancy test, like, they just jump to abortion, because a lot of people have been trained to think, like, oh, abortion is totally an acceptable form of birth control. And that's horrible, but there are still people out there in the world who are looking at it going, I don't want to do this to myself. And I think that if we're ever going to resolve anything when it comes to the abortion debate, people are going to need to start listening to each other. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. No, I do not. I don't have that much faith in humanity. But if you're trying to understand the debate itself, it really helps to listen to both sides. And I look at where I'm at, and I look at how uncomfortable I am, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, we're in week 9 right now. This is going to get worse. It's going to get much worse. How am I going to feel in 6 months? I'm not going to feel very good. I'm on this roller coaster because I want to be here, but I don't think people who don't want to be on this roller coaster should be forced to go. Now, again, I don't think that abortion is a nice, good, acceptable form of birth control. I'm just saying, like, we've got to have some very real talks about this if we're ever going to resolve the issue. And again, I don't think people are going to do that. I don't think people are going to do that at all. Everybody's on their side. I got Team A and Team B, and Team A has got their little uniforms on and their little cheerleaders out, and they're not listening to anybody, and the other team isn't doing that either. Everybody wants to win. Nobody really cares. Nobody cares. They don't care about the women. They don't care about the babies. They just care about winning. I've become remarkably dark and jaded about humanity. It's probably part of the reason that I need to be on antidepressants. I'm doing okay now. I think I've woken up enough just in the filming of this video. I might do like some sort of exercises or some stretches or something and see if, like, as long as I just don't use my foot, I can probably get enough blood flowing through my system to just kind of maybe help myself be okay. And then tonight, at least, I'm going to look for a really gentle, easygoing, happy, just feel good kind of TV show to watch. I want something really feel good, something really gentle. Gentle sounds nice right now. It doesn't feel good getting jarred awake by jolts and zaps and a little electric shocks in your feet. It just doesn't feel good. So, you know what? I'm gonna be gentle with myself. And again, I'm not doing this for a pity party. I just want to document the process because, like, right now we're at the top of the roller coaster. We're looking down, and all of a sudden we're starting to pick up some momentum. Shit might get interesting, and if shit gets interesting, I want to kind of have videos about it because it's something. Anyway, that's my ranting for today. It doesn't seem it doesn't seem like I'm going too crazy yet, so that's good. I hope you all are having a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you guys later.